60 million. They from Pennsylvania to the Rock, and from the Great Slave Lake to the Rio Grande. The herds were growing when the Spaniards saw them in 1521. Only a few hundred fugitives. For a great hunt, there were grateful offerings. A voice and a robe of the finest quill work were sent to stay with the winds, with the earth, with the sun.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome back to Plastic Lounge Podcast. Today we have 3 true, terrifying Thanksgiving stories for you, going back into Native folklore and also some taking place right here. But first, I am Grits. I have COVID, and I'm here with Messiah.
Hello. Just caught me off guard, bro. Sorry. Yo.
And I'm here with Rebel as well. He's here too. Boys, when you think of Thanksgiving, do you think of like turkey and mashed potatoes and families?
Like, stuffing, yeah.
You don't think of people dying.
Well, actually.
Oh, wait, really?
Well, maybe. Okay, so let's take it back. 1985, right? In Lake Worth, Texas. We're settled into a trailer park. And the Blount family just finished up eating. There's several of them there, ranging from 15 to 44 years old. They're stuffed, man. They're all talking. A few of them are like, we're going to go to the store and get some booze. So everybody in the trailer is like, all right, later. We'll see you in a bit. While they're gone, the 15-year-old daughter takes a nap. She's awoken suddenly to the knock at the door. She goes to the door, opens it. Nobody's there. She's looking around, can't see anybody. She just closes the door, goes back to her nap. Everybody that went to the store to get booze comes back about an hour later. And they come in the trailer and they're like, hey, there's a briefcase on the porch. What's going on? And the 15-year-old's like, oh, that must have been the knock. I don't know. They're like, all right, well, we're going to bring this briefcase in. Like, okay. So they bring in the briefcase and they put all the booze on the counter. They plop this briefcase on the kitchen table and everybody's standing around and they're like, what the heck is this? A couple of them are like, I don't know, maybe someone wants to be generous and they giving us like a gift or something. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's jewels, maybe it's money. So they're like, all right. They don't open it quite yet. Everybody kind of like goes back to what they were doing, right? There's a few of them around the kitchen table still. So they click open the latches on the briefcase. Click, click. And they open it. And the entire trailer explodes. The bomb. 3 members of the Blount family are instantly killed. The other members survive. And to this day, the case has gone unsolved. However, fast forward to the year of 1997, a man with 3 first names, Michael Roy Tony, was awaiting trial for a burglary that happened in 1993. While he's in jail, a couple dudes claim to have heard him bragging about when he bombed a house in 1985 on Thanksgiving Day. So immediately, Tony was connected to this bombing. However, about a year later, the dude that said he heard this came out and said he didn't hear it. Maybe it was somebody else. It was a big game of like, who said this, who said that. Ultimately, the case was dropped against Tony because there wasn't enough evidence. He claimed he never knew anything about the bombing until 1997 when it happened in 85. And all charges were dropped and he was never tried for it. To this day, nobody knows what happened to the Blount family who sent the bomb to their house in a briefcase. Pretty messed up.
All I'm going to say is the police, I feel like they didn't care to look into this case. Because I feel like you could easily find out what happens with explosives, who put that there, all that stuff.
Maybe, but in 85?
Yes. Dude, they found what was it called? The Oklahoma bombing, dude. Granted, they found him later on. Doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't matter, okay? They found him out there.
I think my opinion is like, it kind of sounded like it was like I kind of like a believer, like when shit like that happens, it's like semi-targeted.
There was some speculation in the community that it was a wrongly targeted drug-related retaliation.
Gang shit.
And they like got the wrong trailer. Let's be honest, some trailer parks may or may not harbor some criminally charged people.
All I know is crime strikes with poverty. Wherever there's poverty, there's crime. Shout out to the poor people out there.
I've lived in one.
Dude, we all lived in one.
Me too.
The roof leaked.
Mine exploded.
Mine didn't explode.
I'm not even joking. Ours exploded.
Dude, yours exploded too?
Yeah. No one died.
Was it on Thanksgiving?
No one died, but we're okay.
His story's about
It's
Red
about
Bull.
my family.
Full circle.
No, it actually exploded and we just left. No one was home and we're like, all right. It was like something with the water cooler or something. Water heater.
You guys have like a water cooler, like in the office?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, my boy was really poor.
Oh shit!
Anyways.
They had a fucking water cooler.
The water cooler with the cone cups in the corner. Dad's getting mad. He keeps saying to reuse your cup.
Reuse your cone, goddamn.
He's mad. You gotta keep buying them.
What a great
All right.
childhood.
Messiah, what do you got for us?
Okay. All right, guys. So let me ask you a question. Okay. I just want to know this off the rip.
Okay.
Do you believe in giants?
No. Like tall people?
Like tall people?
Like I've seen some 7 foot people, dude.
Shaq?
Dude, Shaq?
What about 10 to 15 foot people?
No.
Nope.
Unless you count
Do you
Shaq.
believe that giants used to live at one time?
Maybe.
I still say no because historically people were shorter back in the day.
If we take the events of Skyrim into account, then yes, giants did exist.
All right. So let me tell you this, okay? So we obviously know Thanksgiving here, kind of this time of the year. One of the things I like to do is research Native Americans because I truly believe they've gotten the short end of the stick for a majority of history. And so I like to kind of know my history and do a little bit of research. And one of the things that I've been coming across are these tales of, let's call them white giants. That's what they would call them. There's been accounted for in the Choctaw tribe, the Navajo, the Comanches, the Manta, the Paiutes. They all have legendary tales of these white giants. They're 10 to 15 feet tall, okay? And they were apparently really powerful, and they were what controlled the land. And they said, commonly, a lot of these, the main one here that I was researching, they commonly lived in the Tennessee area, right? Mind you, the first Native Americans, a lot on the coast, you know what I'm saying?
Mountain giants.
The Tennessee Giants.
So these giants existed, right? And apparently they were really good miners, and they would build these cities, and they had people that lived there. And these tales say that the giants got wiped out by the Great Spirit.
Whoa.
But these giants were not friendly, and they were cannibalistic, and they would eat Native American people.
So wait, did they live in the mountains and they came down to
That's
eat?
where they primarily hung out, but they would just roam. And I have a little story after this about a specific thing in there. Anyways, getting back to it, right? So apparently the rumor on the block, right, is that the giants gave birth to a disfigured child, and they treated it really poorly and tortured it.
Oh,
And that's when the Great Spirit came and just wiped them out. They were like, y'all are terrible. Fuck you. They just bailed, right?
Yeah.
I want to claim too, and I don't know how true this is, but I was doing some reading, and apparently the Manta tribe said that the giants arrived first on like really large boats, and they said the eyes were the size of dinner plates.
How big are their dinner plates?
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, what if they're like normal eye size?
So that's just kind of like a quick like recap about like the general first talk of giants, right? But then there was this lady. Her name was Sarah Winnemucca. I believe she was the daughter of Chief Winnemucca, which was like the head chief of that tribe at that time. Mind you, she passed away in 1891. So she was like a teacher and like did a lot of different things throughout her life, you know? But before she passed away, she wrote a book called Life About the Paiutes, right? And she referred to, I guess I'll call them creatures, called the Sai Te Kai, which means Tulu eater. And Tulu is like a water plant that apparently grows along like the rivers. And that she would talk about these giants that would come and take these like water plants and they would eat them and then like make things out of them, make like rafts and shit. They said that there were giant red-haired cannibals. The story goes in Nevada, there's a cave, and the caves are real today. There's a cave called Lovelock Cave. Okay, apparently that's where these Sai Te Kai giants like hung out, I guess. And there was they were coming, and these giants, because they were cannibals, would come and they would fuck with her people. So all the other tribes band together and they had almost like a big war, and they trapped them in this Lovelock Cave, and they stuffed it with like brush, and they funneled smoke into there, and it like exhausted them out, and any ones that came out, they like just like kind of like just killed them, you know. But I have a kind of a quote here, right? He wrote, "After my people had killed them all, the people around us called us Saidu Kara, which means conqueror or enemy. My people say that the tribe we're exterminating had reddish hair. I have some of their hair, which has been handed down from my father to son. I have a dress which has been in our family for many years, trimmed with reddish hair. I'm going to wear it sometime when I lecture. It's called a morning dress, blah, 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 blah." And there's a picture of this dress, which we'll throw up now. So in 1911, right, there was these miners.
Children.
It's this term called guano miners. Looked it up. It looked like it was said manure. I don't know what that means, bro.
I think guano is manure, isn't it?
Shit miners. It's like shit coin.
I don't know. But anyways, right? So they found a remnant of a man in this cave, right? Lovelock Cave, where this was supposed to happen. According to this, the giant was only 6'6" tall. But Rebel, what you said earlier, right?
They're small.
Back then, people were really small.
Oh.
So 6'6" nowadays, still tall guy, but or woman or whatever. You would be like, oh, they're just kind of tall. You wouldn't think they're like, oh my God, that's a giant.
Right.
So in 1924, a different team went back there and they found a series of human bones, which is interesting, and they couldn't really tell. But they said that the bones had been split to extract the marrow from it, and as like animal bones. And they said that's typically like indicative of like cannibalism, which kind of lines up with the giants were cannibals.
Sheesh.
And that cave is where they would hang out and stuff. So it's like they were eating people. They would like get the marrow out, you know.
You guys trying to go and split the marrow?
I was just gonna say
we can to this day, we can tomorrow go to this cave and go walk in there.
Let's go to the cave. We need to find proof of giants, dude.
I will say this is kind of plausible based on how many other societies and civilizations that had accounts of giants. There's the Nephilim within the Hebrew
True.
like whatever culture. There's also the tales of the Anunnaki, if you guys are aware of any of that,
Well,
and
yeah, a little
Nibiru and
familiar.
all that stuff, how they're taller, giant, and they would control us and pretty much be abusive to us. And as a huge tie-in to the Great Spirit, I highly recommend go out there and do your research on it. It's entertaining, I guess, to say the least.
Stuff is wild. What if we went to Lovelock Cave and we just like stumble on a size 17 moccasin?
I will say on that note, that'd be crazy. But they did find in one of the, I think in the 1924 one, when they went into the cave, on top of finding those bones, they found a ton of different Paiute artifacts, like duck calls and like skinning knives made and like all sorts of different shit. Again, you guys know me. I like to tie together like kind of like quote unquote real things. Is documented that the Paiutes like are real, you know. But kind of with the tales of the giants, it's kind of like, is it true? Is it not?
They all deserve the title Giant Slayer. I want that to be their middle name.
Paiute Giant Slayer.
So speaking of Native American lore and specifically like the Great Spirit and all, now before I get into this, I want this to be more of a discussion instead of a story. But first, I'll give some background details on this. There's a tribe called the Hopi Native Americans. They're also called Hopi Indians, but we all know that that's not right. They're more Native Americans. They're here today. They live on the reservation in Arizona, the Hopi Reservation. And they are the oldest Native American tribe to date. You can trace back their time in Arizona, just specifically Arizona, 2,000 years.
Damn.
But you can trace back longer for their people. Like they can literally pull up and be like, I have all this. Like we have documented info. We can date back to all this stuff. And they have the oldest language, Native American language. There might be some that are older, but it's a dead language at this point. And so the reason I'm saying this is because they have a prophecy. There's a deep prophecy, and they've had many predictions in the past that have become true. Now, some of the predictions, they predicted World War I, the first flight of airplanes, the dropping of the atomic bomb, 9/11, slightly roughly 9/11, a plethora of natural disasters, because let's be real, there's a lot of them. And so, yeah, I know. And it's not like the whole, like, oh, there's a metal bird in the sky. No, they're like, you guys are going to fight each other across lands at this time.
If it said like 1930, like 4.
Well, basically around like that time period. Yeah, they're like, this is what's going to happen. And then it happens. It's like almost accurate to a T, and it is insane. Now, this is where it starts getting weird, okay? It is said that they traveled up from like South America, Central America, up into North America pretty much, up from Mexico, and now they live in Arizona, obviously. At that point, they have sub-tribes within the Hopi tribe. They all agreed to split up and go in different directions and pretty much travel as far as they could get. And then come back and share with the knowledge that they found with all of each other. And that's like I would say the best way of finding knowledge. Like you obviously can't get knowledge for yourself. You can't be everywhere at once. So the best way to do it is send someone else to go do it. You're going to find what you need to find. You're going to come back and you're all going to share what you found. And that way you can grow as a collective instead of just as a single person.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have they heard of Google?
So this was way back before
This
Google.
was pre-Google.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you didn't know.
Gotcha. Appreciate
This
it.
is actually 2006.
Dude, someone's gonna comment like that was so dumb. That was such a dumb comment.
No, so this was before people came into America, the whole colonization of America. This was way before that. This predates way before any of that. And so
Thanks for clarifying.
I got you, dude. I got you. But it is said that they even traveled all the way up into like Canada and allegedly into the Arctic. And now them going into Canada was sort of like a myth. No one really kind of agreed that they went up there. They're like, that doesn't make sense. Why would they go to Canada when everything's down here? Until they found rock art inside Alberta, Canada, that resembled and matched the Hopi Indian tribes. And so it is for sure that they were up there at some point in their time period.
That's far too.
I know, that's really far. And it's cold.
Yeah.
It's really cold.
Dude, I just picture like in the Game of Thrones, like the land of always winter. They're like up there. They're just like, it's called that on the old map, you know?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, by the way. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind.
Got it.
But they believe that the world has had many turnovers. They believe we're in the fourth world right now. There was a third, a second, first, and there will be a fifth coming up. And so what they would do to go from one world to the other is that they would crawl into a secret passageway to lead them to an inner sanctum within the earth. And it's said that the entrance to that passageway is in the Grand Canyon. However, if you were listening to our last episode, or the episode before that, I can't remember.
Nazi aliens.
They were said that when they went up to the Arctic area, there was a back door to the inner world. But they were blocked from getting to that back door. But they know for sure that people came out of that into the fourth world. And so that almost like kind of coincides with Messiah's Operation High Jump.
Correct, yeah.
It all kind of ties together. And I'm saying this because this is the oldest tribe that kind of can back it up. They speak the oldest language. They kind of have everything there. They have the credentials, if you will. I can't really argue with that. They have upcoming prophecies, the 9 prophecies of the fifth world coming.
Oh shit, what are they?
Based on an interview that was held from Elder Whitefeather is his name, or Whitefeather, he's just an elder there. There was 9 prophecies to show that there's an end of the world coming up and that pretty much you should start preparing to like go to the fifth world. The first prophecy. This is under his words, by the way. We are told of the coming of the white-skinned men, aka me, us 3. They said it's like the Pahana, which if you guys don't know, the Pahana is almost like their Jesus figure. They have a white dude that is part of their tribe that's going to come back to them. And when he comes back, he's going to lead them into the fifth world. And so there's white dudes like the Pahana.
They're just like chilling out there, and then a random white dude shows up and is like, hey guys, and then just forbids them.
Yes, but they're not living, or he's not living like the typical white people, and I don't want to say white, the typical American people do, where it's very corrosive, if you will. They're not taking care of the land. They're not taking care of each other. It's very for profit and all for like each other. You know what I mean? Apparently there's going to be a guy that comes back that's going to lead him to the fifth world. But the first prophecy is saying that other white people are going to come and they're going to take over the land, and also they're going to strike down the enemies with thunder. Now, I have a question. What do you think this means? Guns. Okay. See, I thought the same thing. It's going to be guns. They're going to strike down their enemies with guns because if you think about it, what happened when we took over America? We came in with guns and just wiped everyone out is what happened. Yeah. and we took the land that wasn't ours. Prophecy 2. Our lands will be seeing the coming of spinning wheels filled with voices. Now, the
Teslas.
It's definitely a Tesla. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong with that. They basically said it was wagons carrying the families across prairies. Or cars. It's pretty much the same
the
thing.
Oregon Trail?
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing. And then the third prophecy. A strange beast like a buffalo with great long horns will overrun the land in large numbers.
The fuck?
Now this is about cows and cattle.
I don't know.
Do you know how many cows and cattle we have?
What was the description of the beast?
Long horns.
Beast like buffalo with long horns. I don't know if you've seen a longhorn cow.
We have like domestic cows, bro, not like longhorns.
We do, but they're still huge. And we have a food problem. Not gonna lie, we kind of have a food problem with raising cattle. Anyways, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Well, that's just one of them.
That one's up for interpretation. Okay.
Major. And the thunder one too, a little bit in my opinion, but move on.
Let's go with the fourth one. The land will be crossed by snakes of iron. Now, when I was reading this, I thought of oil pipelines.
Yeah.
That made sense
or
to
like
me.
electric lines.
That could be it. I thought of railroads. That could also be it. Because remember, this is way back in the day that they didn't know how to describe. They had to describe it with the stuff that they knew.
Yeah.
The fifth prophecy. The land shall be crisscrossed by a giant spider's web. Now, I don't know about you guys.
Electric lines.
Electric lines, smart. That was a theory. However, I feel like the internet and the interweb is kind of like more also kind of fitting that description. Both would fit that description very, very well.
Yeah.
And now we got the sixth one, the sixth prophecy.
Oh boy.
It's kind of dumb. The land shall be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun.
Roads.
It's roads. I don't know if you noticed, like if you're staring down the road, you see like the sun hitting it, and then you get that mirage
it's
going,
like blurry
kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's the picture in the sun. You get to like see a reflection based off of heat. That's cool. I think it's really cool. But that's what's gonna happen, because back in the day they didn't have roads. They didn't have stone laid down. And now number 7. You will hear of the sea turning black and many living things dying because of it.
trash in the sea,
or oil spills.
Oil spills.
Shout out BP.
BP.
Number 8. You will see many youth who wear their hair long like my people. Come and join the tribal nations to learn their ways and wisdom. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I know when someone's talking about a motherfucking hippie.
You're hippies.
When the hippie movement happened, dude, people, I don't know about you, people took a lot of drugs. They went out to a lot of reservations and chilled, dude. That's all I'm going to say. And they also had long
Everyone
hair.
was wearing leather and beads and shit.
Hell yeah, dude. And now this is the 9th prophecy, and this is a long one, so prepare your anus. You will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens, above the earth, that shall fall with a great crash. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like the International Space Station. It will appear as a blue star as it's crashing down. There are the signs that the great destruction is coming. The world shall rock to and fro. The white man will battle against other people in other lands with those who possess the first light of wisdom. Now, I don't know what that first light of wisdom is. I don't know what that is. If you know what it is, let me know.
It's going to be something we haven't discovered yet.
Maybe. I don't know. But there will be many columns of smoke and fire, aka bombs dropping.
Missiles.
Bombs, the mushroom cloud, nukes. Basically, it's saying World War III is going to happen. The International Space Station is going to fall down from the sky, and then shit's going to go shit's gonna start popping, dude. And then the Pahana is gonna return. He's gonna be there, and he's like, "All right, let's go."
All right, I'm definitely following that motherfucker when he shows up, dude.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Now, I will say, like I said before, there's so much more to this story that I highly recommend everyone going out there and learning about this, because I could sit here for 6 hours trying to describe what's happening in the full lore behind all of this. Somehow it weirdly rolls into Trump. I don't know, dude.
Okay. Come on, bro.
Dude, it's so weird, dude.
We were having such a nice talk.
You lost me with the cow, bro.
Oh my God.
I believe it. I believe it all.
I believe it, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. I believe it, and we should just keep looking.
I'm down to find the portal, bro.
Listeners and viewers, if you know where the portal is, comment down below and let us know so we can all meet there after the 9th prophecy is fulfilled. Thank you for joining us. Again, happy Thanksgiving. There's 3 stories for you to munch on after you're done munching on dinner. We hope you stay inside, stay safe, get some good family time in. We'll see you back afterwards for another episode of Plastic Launch Podcast. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.